Hello and Happy New Year and welcome to the January episode of the EFPL Podcast, your short story podcast with all your library updates, events, crafts, jokes, and more. I'm your host and librarian, Jen, and I'm here with all the New Year fun that can be found at Eager Free Public Library. But first, service updates. For the rest of the month of January, we will be open our regular operating hours of Monday through Thursday, 9:30 a.m. to 7 p.m., Fridays, 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Saturdays, 9:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Have you seen our new I Spy display case? It's currently located in the children's area, but it's fun for the whole family. Stop in and see if you can spy all the items. And don't forget that we have book displays featuring different titles for the month. These titles usually fit a theme that staff cleverly put together. Stop in and take a look, and remember, all titles on our book displays are available for checkout. After a short break, our story times return this month, and what better way to celebrate than to hear from one of our Storytime storytellers? Well, I suppose stopping in for a story time would be a great way to celebrate too. But until you're able to make it in this month's episode, we have a short interview with Miss Stephanie to tell us a little bit more about story times and what to expect. So be sure to stick around to check that out. Techie Help resumes in 2023. Tech Time with Jen, starting on Monday, January 9th and Thursday, January 12th, we will be offering one-on-one support for patrons that have questions about their mobile device, tablet or e-reader, navigating social media, or computer use and printing. Please schedule an appointment with me, Jen, by calling 608-882-2275. We will have up to an hour to go over whatever questions you may have. Available days and times are Monday evenings starting at 4 p.m. and Thursday mornings from 10 a.m. to noon. Please note availability will vary based on scheduling. Check our website or Facebook page for any updates on changes. And now it's time for upcoming events. I have all the events and programs for January in this episode, but be sure to go online and check our website or follow us on Facebook for more information. All contact information for the events and links can be found in the episode description. Fun for all ages. A quick update on the Community Quilt Project. Be sure you're following us on Facebook or make sure you check our website for details on when our Community Quilt Project will be finished. Once it is, it'll be on display on the railing facing our First Street entrance. Thank you all for your contributions. A Better World, January 16th through the 30th. How would you make the world a better place? Let us know by adding your ideas to our poster board in the lower level. MLK Drum Circle for Peace, Monday, January 16th at 2 p.m., a no-school day. To honor the legacy of Martin Luther King Jr., we will build a community and drum for peace and racial justice. Please bring a drum if you have one. We will have rhythm sticks available as well. Here's what we have for our littlest readers. And a reminder that no registration is needed for story times. Baby Story Time will resume on January 6th and will be on Fridays at 10 a.m. Join us for laps at stories, songs, and finger plays that help develop pre-reading skills for babies new to 2 with a caregiver. In-person story times will resume on January 11th and will be on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Stories, songs, and other early literacy activities that help develop pre-reading skills for children ages 2 to 5 with a caregiver. If you're on Facebook, be sure to join our Storytime Facebook group to stay updated on any changes to Storytime. Movers and Makers on select Fridays at 11 a.m. Sing, dance, play, and create. Enjoy a movement-filled story time followed by a hands-on art project. Space is limited, so please call 608-882-2275 to register. Join us on Friday, January 13th at 11 a.m. 1,000 books before kindergarten, and this runs all year long. It's never too early to start reading to your child. Sign up for the 1,000 Books Challenge either in person at the library and pick up a reading log with early literacy tips, or online at www.1000books.org. Earn milestone rewards for every 100 books read. And don't forget that the books read at Storytimes can be counted for the 1,000 Books Challenge. Here's what we have for our big kid readers. Scavenger hunts. Pick up a log sheet at the youth services desk and see if you can find them all. This month, you'll be hunting for snowflakes. Take and Make Kit. Gnome Flakes. Available starting January 9th. How many gnomes did you find at the library last month? Well, this month, create your own gnome flake. Available at the craft table while supplies last. Tween Book Discussion. Dogman. On Tuesday, January 17th at 3:30 p.m. Join us as we read aloud parts from the book Dogman, A Tale of Two Kitties, and show how to draw a few characters. Which Dogman character is your favorite? Take and Make Kit. Magical Snowflake Wand. Available starting January 23rd. Make a magical snowflake wand this week. Available at the craft table while supplies last. Glow Party. Friday, January 27th at 4 p.m. Let's glow crazy. Glow-in-the-dark games and face painting. Wear white so you can glow bright. And here's what we have for our teens. Cookies, Canvas, and Cocoa on Wednesday, January 11th at 4 p.m. It's a happy little paint-along with Bob Ross. Or just paint what makes you happy. Materials provided, and to quote Mr. Bob Ross himself, there are no mistakes, just happy accidents. Mixed Media Trading Cards. Friday, January 13th at 4 p.m. Use mixed media and journaling techniques to create playing card art to keep or trade with friends. Teen Advisory Board. All teens welcome. Catch up, hang out, and plan new teen library programs. Tab counts as volunteer hours and gives you the opportunity to suggest purchases and plan events that you'd like to see. On Friday, January 20th at 4 p.m., we'll have Breakerspace. Come tinker with a cash register or other tech to see how they work. Can you make something new from the parts? Here's what we have for the adults. Take and Make Kit. Sock Gnome. Available starting Monday, January 9th. Looking for a cute winter decoration for your home? This month, we will provide supplies to make your own sock gnome. Available while supplies last. Bookaholics. Wednesday, January 11th at 6:30 p.m. at Kaylee's Coffee and Wine Bar on 16 West Main Street. Books, new friends, wine. Hang out with us at Kaylee's Coffee and Wine Bar for a low-key but fun book club. Grab a copy of The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab, either book or audiobook, available starting December 5th. Also available on the Libby and Hoopla apps. And don't worry if you didn't finish it, you can still join us for a laid-back chat, as long as you're okay with spoilers. Mixed Bag Book Club, Thursday, January 19th at 10:30 a.m. This month, in order to participate, read anything. So join us and share with us what you read. Did you love it? Hate it? Stop in and let us know. We also have Facebook groups for our adult book clubs, so be sure to join. Common Scams and Frauds, Thursday, January 19th at 6 p.m. The Wisconsin Bureau of Consumer Protection, or WBCP, will discuss the details of common scams that target seniors, the warning signs of a scam, and what to do if you or someone you know falls victim to a scam or fraud. Helpful fact sheets from the WBCP will be available. As Wisconsin's lead agency for consumer protection, the WBCP at the Wisconsin Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection provides information and education, mediates complaints, investigates cases, and takes enforcement actions to fight fraudulent and deceptive practices that harm consumers and honest businesses. And now it's time for new releases. We get new books, movies, and audiobooks all month long, so be sure to check the website for when new titles are available. Here are just a few titles we'll be getting this month. Code 6 by James Grippando. The Villa by Rachel Hawkins. The Mitford Affair by Marie Benedict. All Hallows by Christopher Golden. In our last 2 episodes, I interviewed Zoe and Megan to get more information about the adult book clubs that we have: Bookaholics, Anti-Meridians, and Mixed Bag. For more information on those book clubs, you can listen to our October and November episodes. But today, instead of book clubs, I have Stephanie with me to tell us about story times. Thank you, Stephanie, for joining me today to tell us about story time.
You're welcome. I'm excited to be here.
Excellent. So, story time sounds pretty self-explanatory, but is it more than just reading books to the kids?
Yes, we always have songs and rhymes to go with the storytime books, and I try to pick a range of story lengths, and we'll start with the longest book first and then try to do the shorter books as the story time progresses. Sometimes I use hand puppets and flannel board pieces, and then occasionally, if it fits the theme, I might have a literary aside.
Very cool. So you said that occasionally there are themes. How do you decide what themes to do next?
That's a great question. Sometimes it's a particular book that might come across the desk that will spark a theme. Sometimes it's a season or a conversation I've had or a personal experience, or even sometimes it's a program that someone else is offering that month that will spark a great idea for a theme.
Nice. And do you take requests for themes?
I haven't yet, but that is actually a really great idea.
Very good. So we can maybe open that up then to our Storytime patrons. And let's see. Now, are there crafts to go along with all the story times?
So during what is considered the school year, we don't offer crafts, but sometimes there might be a theme idea that will spark a craft. And I always get excited if I can come up with a craft that uses supplies that the library already has. So we recently had a hat day theme, and it was a conversation that I was having with Miss Rebecca that I said, wait a minute, like we could have a hat craft and a hat parade. And so that was really fun.
All right. And so let's see. So there are songs to sing and dance to. Can you tell us about some of the songs and just... are there like special dance moves, or is it just about getting up and moving the body?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So I try to keep the same songs and rhymes every week since school has resumed for the older kids. The toddler set really looks forward to their favorites, and then the repetition for that definitely helps with their reading skills. And my new favorite is Shake Your Sillies Out, and that, as that implies, we do some shaking and some wiggling, and then there's some hand movements, and we always have the same opening song that has a little bit of sign language with it, and then that is Welcome Friends. And then at the end, we do Goodbye Friends, and the only difference there is the word goodbye instead of hello. And then the other favorite is the popcorn song with the scarves. The kids really like that, and there's some jumping up and down and all of that.
Very cool. All right, so who can come to Storytime? When is Storytime? And where is Storytime?
So Storytime for the toddlers is for ages 2 to 5, and that is on every Wednesday at 10 a.m. And then we have been doing it in the smaller youth programming room because it's kind of a central location, because we also have baby story times on Fridays at 10. And then we've been using the same rooms. But sometimes if the group is big or we have a craft to offer at the same time, then we'll do the multi-purpose room. And then just something to point out, so we currently are on our winter break. and Storytime resumes January 11th.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. And then, yeah, the youth program room and the multipurpose room are both located in the lower level. And then, but when it starts getting nicer out, you guys tend to move outside, out on the patio, or just kind of wherever there's enough space for everybody?
Yeah, we were able to offer some outdoor story times in the fall when we had some nice days, and we typically actually do it near the First Street doors. Okay. It's kind of like the best concentration of some shade, and then the families have the option to sit on the sidewalk or the grass, and then we always encourage them to bring like an old blanket or something else to sit on.
Nice, nice. Very cozy and picnic-like. I like it. All right. So do you have any teasers as to what's coming up for this month after we resume from our short break? Or just any little hints as to what we can expect from your story times?
Yeah. So I don't always plan more than a week or so in advance, but I thought that I would figure out some of my themes a little in advance. And so the January 11th theme is going to be stories that have a theme of ice skating. And then I'm really excited that January 18th, we're going to be reading some stories that feature pajamas. And we're also going to make it Pajama Day. So we will invite everybody to wear pajamas that day for story time.
Awesome. I will make sure my pajamas are fresh and clean for that day. So looking forward to it. All right. Anything else we need to know about story times, updates on story time, stuff like that?
Yeah, so on the Eager Free Public Library Facebook page, there is a link if you go to groups, and then there is a Storytime group. So when it gets closer to the Pajama Day, we'll probably post something there to remind people. And then we also utilize that same spot when the weather gets nicer. We would be trying to let you know in advance if we're going to have it outdoors instead of inside.
All right, very cool. And I'll make sure and have a direct link to the Facebook Storytime group in the episode description. So then that way our listeners can just click on it and be directed immediately there. So, well, I want to thank you, Stephanie, for joining me today and filling us in on story times and all the moving and shaking that goes along with it. And we hope to see our little readers at our next story time. And that date again was January 11th at 10 a.m.
That is correct.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you, Stephanie.
You are welcome. Thanks for having me.
And now it's time for staff picks. Here are a few titles the staff at EFPL have enjoyed. Adult. Overseas by Beatrice Williams. The Ice Cream Queen of Orchard Street by Susan Jane Gilman. And our Bookaholics pick, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. Young Adult. Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. Legendborn by Tracy Dion. Children's. Izzy in the Doghouse by Carolyn Adderson. Harold and Hog Pretend for Real by Mo Wellams. And now it's time for a blog post. Our blog is updated weekly, so be sure to visit efplblog.blogspot.com to read the latest. Our Blogspot link can be found in the episode description. This month's blog is from an author spotlight we did in December 2022 on the author Anne Radcliffe. Last month, we read The Mysteries of Udolpho by Anne Radcliffe for our Anti-Meridians book club. Anne Radcliffe was born in London in the 1760s and is often considered to be the most representative of Gothic novelists, and she's often credited as helping to develop the Gothic novel. Gothic novels typically use castles and/or monasteries as the setting of the story, along with underground passages, hidden rooms, and trapdoors. Radcliffe's works focused on terror rather than horror, and she included strong heroines that were able to defend themselves. Her first novels were published anonymously, but she achieved some fame with the publication of her third novel. When she published The Mysteries of Udolpho, she became a very popular novelist in England. A few years ago, we read Jane Austen's novel, Northanger Abbey. Her novel mentions the mysteries of Udolpho and was part of the reason this book was chosen for our Classic Read of the Year. Here is a list of Radcliffe's works along with Gothic novels written by other authors. Happy reading! Books written by Anne Radcliffe. The Castles of Athlin and Dunbayne. A Sicilian Romance. The Romance of the Forest. The Mysteries of Udolpho. Here are some other Gothic novels. Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. The Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe. Jane Steele by Lindsay Fay. The Turn of the Screw by Henry James. Dracula by Bram Stoker. The Woman in White by Wilkie Collins. Mexican Gothic by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. And now it's time for Discovery Kit of the Month. Be sure to stop in the library to check out this month's featured kit or any of our kits. You can also go online and add them to your holds list. This month's featured kit is the Magnetiles kit. Magnetiles are a construction toy system. The pieces are plastic tiles of varying shapes that snap together magnetically, allowing users to build various geometric structures. Magnetiles were originally developed in Japan, where they were sold under the name Pythagoras. American salesman Rudy Valenta saw the toy while visiting Japan in 1996 and bought the rights to the toy. He rebranded the toy system Magnetiles and founded Valtech Company in 1997 to sell it. This kit encourages creativity, screen-free playtime, can help with dexterity, and hand-eye coordination. What will your little create with these fun and magnetic shapes? Our kit includes a 100-piece set of Magnetiles and the Magnetect Imagination Book. And now it's time for a library fun fact. Now, last year we shared fun facts about libraries. So this year I thought we'd shake things up just a wee bit. I've scoured the internet, I asked Google, for some of the weirdest, unusual, and funny random fun facts. So I will share a fun fact about libraries as well as a random fun fact or piece of trivia. What random bits of information live rent-free in your head? Be sure to share them with us and have your fun fact mentioned in an upcoming episode. Did you know libraries play a critical role in making internet access available to all? 98% of public libraries provide Wi-Fi and access to computers. And at EFPL, even if you don't have a library card, you can still stop in and use one of our public computers. However, you are limited to just 1 hour. If more time is needed, then sign up for a free library card. Did you know there is an annual coffee break festival? For millions of people, the coffee break is a key but often underappreciated part of the day. To stop and give the break its proper due, the town of Stoughton, Wisconsin hosts an annual coffee break festival. The gatherings include coffee tastings, quote, brew-offs, and bean spitting contests. Why Stoughton? According to city officials, the coffee break was, quote, born in the city in the late 1800s, as women working in the local Gunderson tobacco warehouse began the ritual of pausing during the workday to brew up some coffee and have a chat. And now it's time for author quotes. Since we celebrate the birth of civil rights activist Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. this month, here are some quotes from the Reverend himself, and a little bit of history about the day. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and sometimes referred to as MLK Day, is a federal holiday in the United States marking the birthday of Martin Luther King Jr. and is observed on the third Monday of January each year. King was the first modern private citizen to be honored with a federal holiday. King was the chief spokesperson for nonviolent activism in the civil rights movement, which protested racial discrimination in federal and state law. The campaign for a federal holiday in King's honor began soon after his assassination in 1968, but wasn't signed into law until 1983, and then it was another 3 years before the holiday was first observed. At first, some states resisted observing the holiday as such, and in 2000 it was officially observed in all 50 states for the first time. From the Nobel Peace Prize acceptance speech in Oslo, Norway in 1964. I believe that unarmed truth and unconditional love will have the final word in reality. This is why right, temporarily defeated, is stronger than evil triumphant. For the March for Integrated Schools, April 18, 1959. Make a career of humanity. Commit yourself to the noble struggle for equal rights. You will make a better person of yourself, a greater nation for your country, and a finer world to live in. From the book Strength to Love, 1963. The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. Last, but certainly not least, Jokes of the Month. EFPL's resident jokesters, the Harlequin of Haha himself Lee and Punny Guy Ross, are back with new jokes for the new year that are certain to tickle the ribs. So let's get to it. Hey Lee, and Happy New Year! I'm excited to hear your first joke of the year, so let's do it.
My first joke is, why did the bird go to the hospital? Because it needs some treatment. That's also a Twitter joke. Now, who stole the soap from the bathtub? A robber ducky.
Oh, those were excellent jokes. Thank you so much for sharing. And before you leave, do you want to let us know what you've been reading? Did you read anything good over winter break?
Oh yeah, I read some good books, and I'm going to show 2 more bonus jokes.
Oh, all right. 2 more bonus jokes. Let's do it.
Now, what did the audience tell the comedy duck?
I give up. What did the audience tell the comedy duck?
You quack me up.
Oh, very good. All right. What's your second bonus joke?
The second one was going to be for the holiday seasons.
Go ahead.
Okay, what did Santa say to the children?
I don't know. What did Santa say to the children?
Santa said, in the story, he had a hose.
All right. Well, very good. But you didn't tell us what you read. Do you want to share with us maybe one of the books you read over break?
I don't know. I read so many.
Did you read any books about any other winter holidays?
Oh, yeah. I read a book about Hanukkah.
Yeah? And what'd you think of the Hanukkah book?
I think it was very cool. Also because it told the story.
Yeah. It's pretty cool, isn't it? The history of Hanukkah.
Yes, it is.
All right, Lee. Well, thank you so much for sharing your jokes, your bonus jokes, and some of the books you read over winter break. And I look forward to your jokes next month.
Yep. Happy New Year's, everybody.
Welcome back, Ross, and Happy New Year. Are you all set with a fresh set of jokes for us this year?
Yes, I am.
All right, well, let's go.
My first joke is, what do you call a fake noodle?
I don't know. What do you call a fake noodle?
An impasta.
All right, and your second joke?
Where did the spaghetti and sauce go to dance?
I don't know. Where did the spaghetti and sauce go to dance?
The meatball.
Awesome. Excellent jokes as always. So before you leave us today, any books you want to share with us that you've been reading or any book recommendations?
I've been reading the Five Nights at Freddy's Fazbear Fright series. Just some spooky stories that I think are pretty good.
Ooh, very cool. Spooky stories for the winter season. I like it.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Good. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying them. Well, as always, Ross, thank you for stopping by and sharing your jokes and what you've been reading. And we'll talk to you again next month.
Bye.
And that'll do it for us. For more information on anything you've heard today or want to sign up for an event, visit us at www.als.lib.wy.us/EFPL or click on the link in the episode description. We'd like to hear from our patrons and listeners as to what books they would recommend. Share with us on our Facebook page or when you stop in, and we'll give you and your recommendation a shout out in next month's episode. If you have a budding comedian in your home or have the perfect joke you'd like to share, send us an email at eagerfree@als.lib.wy.us. This month's jokes were from the book Punny Jokes by Joe King and can be found in the children's nonfiction area. Thanks for checking us out.